Hello and welcome. As today's date comes in at that of Thursday, 14th of November, 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management's always job number one. And in this video, we're going to first go over Litecoin and then others, altcoins, a market cap of everything that's not Bitcoin. It'll be another time to plug a long-standing video series, The Hidden Secrets of Money, episodes 1 through 10. That'll be the next part of the video. I'm not too sure what other crypto stuff I'm going to cover after that because I can't think of anything right now. But then we're going to transition into that of sports and hockey, really, and hockey betting, generals, and that of DraftKings fantasy sports. An update on the goal that I have of turning practically nothing into 5 figures. I haven't turned it into 3 yet, although closer. Anyway, let's start. So Litecoin against the dollar. We had these lows in here at 4 and these highs at 5. And just a side note along the way, I can remember through times in here when I was talking on the phone with someone I was talking about like the Litecoin trade and cryptos, and every time I would bring up Litecoin, especially when I brought up the prices back when it was 4 and 5, I would know exactly what the person was going to say back to me. Oh, if I only known, if I only should have got in, but never more in that of, oh, I guess I got the feeling that I sensed the person was like, oh, I missed the boat, I just can't get in. What am I supposed to do? Wait to go back to 4 or 5? It might, but I don't think it will. And if it does, well, I'm going to be going over the either or situation. And if it goes down here, I think I know which of the two it's going to be. And the either or is that, what's the end game of this? Well, I mean, maybe it's good that I flip it out like this and I got this number of 0.03 here. And if that's the case, let's just go like this and bring up, well, I don't know about 208,000. But the whole point is significantly higher, significantly lower, meaning wins or loses. And I'm predicting journey versus destination. Well, the journey and how it gets there, however, but destination, that it's going to have a significant break of previous resistance. That's my prediction. Now, I look at it as in probability. What's the chances of it doing either or? And I can't give you an exact percent, not even close. But I think it is phenomenally high. Greater than 50%, much, much, much greater. Greater than 98%? Probably not, no. Greater than 10%? Well, if it's much greater than 50, of course. So I look at it as I don't know if it's over 90, 92%. I really, really don't. But I realize even if it was 70%, then it's still a right play. But anyway, looking at this in one form, I want to use this also within the others chart, which will be coming next, which is the market cap of everything not Bitcoin. You can say to yourself, okay, as far as getting into Bitcoin, when did I get into Bitcoin and trading? It was back in here, right before this up move happened. No, I didn't buy Litecoin from the start. In fact, I called it a shitcoin right from the get-go. Or I called it a dead coin just because of its stats. I think of my early views. And I've known about and heard about Litecoin for quite some time. I also called Bitcoin a shitcoin for several years. From the beginning up until probably sometime in here, I stopped calling it that. And I was more intrigued about the situation, thus, of course, entering in right around the start of the 4th week of February, around the 21st, 22nd of February when I started the trading. So it's a good time to get in. And if you got back in here, I hope you got a little bit of profit taking when the opportunity was there. There was a short gap for it at the start of 2018 and even at the end of especially Litecoin, at the end of 2017. And if you bought in here, there's a lot of people that are not doing as well. And a lot of people have gotten it with losses probably. Buying in here, well, if you bought in here, at least within my trading system, there's no reason if you bought Litecoin here and you start trading it that you should be down. Because I'm sure there's a decent amount of people who bought it in this and are like, yeah, I bought it at 60. It's about 60 now. I'm even. Okay. And market goes up high. they'll get the gains that they'll get. So if it goes up 10 times, 30 times, or we'll say 30, then they'll get 30 times gains. And of course, buying in here, well, that was a great place still even today, because yeah, I know it was down from this point, but hey, I'm still up. And well, if you bought anywhere up in this area here, well, I'm down, man. I wish I would have waited. And even now, it's like, it's not even a great weight to buy compared to where it was down in here, like 51, 52. It's only up about 12 or 13%. Let's take a look at the others chart. This is a market cap calculated by TradeView. If you're wondering the volume from before, I mean, LITECOIN had nothing now compared to before. Well, that's because it was on the Poloniex exchange. And the volume here has shown that, well, started to get places here in May. Of course, that's when it broke a major resistance a level to the upside on Bitcoin. That was a big move. And I don't know how accurate within all this high volume is compared to before, but it does still show a lot of interest within the market. What hasn't happened from the high is a major breakdown. Doesn't mean it can't happen. As far as how much time it goes, it has not been making higher highs, and that's another thing that hasn't been happening. It hasn't been making higher highs. This last one was a lower one, so it's still got to get above that of 25 billion, 26 even, to make that of a higher high. And again, talking about getting into Bitcoin and cryptos, especially with the trading game that I talked about. If you got back in here and in here, well, look at the altcoins, 44 down to 13. And even from this high, 82 down to 13. That's like 7, or not 7, but like 4 or 5 times its value. It's, or 70, 80%, 90% decline, another way of putting it. The big moves to the downside, of course. And that's what it's been. And of course, to be just that, if that's small of a move from here to here, 14 into like 90, that's like 84% down. Well, market cap here was 119 million. And then it got to like 60 billion. So that's like 500. I think it's 1,000x to go from one figure to the next, and it got halfway there. 500x move from the lows of in the spring-ish or so of 2016 to the highs. So again, same thing. One of two situations is going to occur. Number one, it's going to break down to this level of support and most likely fail thereafter that. Or number two, and this isn't anywhere near as far right now to get there, it's going to get to its previous high near 85 and then have a significant move up there after that. And thus, when I talk about significant moves and all those types of stuff, well, the volatility for how your portfolio can have significant moves to both sides is just that. And when you have like, I got into cryptos, say back in here, and I've seen over the last few months how my portfolio's been going down, and yeah, well, nothing too major, but yeah. And then in here, I got in April of 2018, and I'm down so much. I'm down like average person who bought altcoins and has hodled them. Hold on for dear life, as that stands for, just holding on and doing nothing, and literally doing nothing, not selling, maybe buying more. But obviously, if they're buying more, their average would be better, of course. But not selling them, not trading them, just keeping them, hopefully in their private wallets anyway. Well, if that's the case, the average person is down 4 times their value in altcoins from this high. And depending, of course, the altcoins that they're in, it could be worse than that. And of course, in some cases, it obviously would be better. Now, if you were to say get into Bitcoin back in here, or the altcoins, maybe you're about even. But of course, with the strategies that I've talked about for flipping coins back and forth, buy low, sell high, you should be up from that point. You should be up from here. If you started here, you should technically be up. If you started in here, you technically should be down. If you started back in here, yeah, you're down. And of course, this including adding into positions. So how much longer this is going to work out where we stay in this, okay, prices are still cheap mode? I don't know. It's like if you take an elephant and you mix it with a rhinoceros and you crossbreed them. Well, you're going to get an albino. Last night, I ended up watching, again, From Bitcoin to Hedera Hashgraph documentary. I didn't realize the word Hedera was on there. I bought Hedera a while ago, and I bought a bunch more of it a few days ago. I just thought, you know what, let's just watch that video over again. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to figure out what the date was. Well, I thought it was into 2018, but yeah, close. December 18, 2017. And Mike Maloney is someone who is an amazing teacher, probably my best teacher that I've obviously chosen, because free market, literally, as far as free information, and not only free information to get, but free information to choose which information you want to have. That's why I like to say it in free market that way. But Mike, it was about, I'm guessing it was 2010, might have been 2009, but I'm thinking it was 2010. He ended up sending me a autographed book, and just through a different promotion thing, 20 or a roll of Silver Eagles. So thank you again, Mike. But he's been around for a while doing these videos, and the information he puts out is magnificent. There's episode number 8 or 9 rather. 8. We have episode number 10, last shown October 30th, 2018. And these go back to February 26, 2013. And all of these things about portable, durable, visible, divisible, like all these things to me, including tangible, is what money needs to be. That was from the first one, and this is February 26, 2013. An amazing video series. And I remember saying when I watched it back then, if I ever get a chance to get the hash graph, I'm going to do it. And well, I guess I fulfilled to what I said I was going to do back then. I took out my Go chain and I basically replaced, long story short, I pretty much transferred it or sold Go chain and bought Hedera. Now let's move on to hockey, sports betting, fantasy hockey last night. If you watched my video, scrolled to the very end and got my pick, you lost with the Leafs laying a goal and a half. If you actually listened to my analysis, you lost with the Islanders laying a goal and a half. And if you took the money line on the Islanders, you won. And that was that was what I expect in sports when I make these wagers. In poker as well, too. Cryptos, yes and no. I've had some interesting luck, but I've done very well in cryptos, of course. And over the last little while, like I mentioned, I wish I would have got out then, or it would be better to buy here. Well, yeah, so be it. Now, what happened in that game was betting the Islanders to win by 2 goals or more. The Islanders came out to a 1-0 lead, and then a 2-0 lead. So that's all good. And then the Leafs tied it in the second period. Well, lots of time left, but the Islanders took the lead before the end of the second period to a 3-2 lead. And as long as I'm up by 1 in the last minute left, I'm usually feeling pretty good, or at least not so bad. That's a better way of putting it. In that, I'll get the empty net goal. Well, the third period started 4-2 and then 5-2. Okay. Now in just time waiting game. 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, scores. Okay, well, 5-3. Minute left, scores 5-4. And no empty net goal. So normally with like 45, 50 seconds left, I'm like, okay, come on, guys, score the empty net goal. If I'm laying a goal and a half, betting for a team to win by 2, no. But you know what? That's how it goes. Now, what I stated a while ago is that I do think I can do very well in this hockey game. And if I end up turning it into 5 figures, I plan on actually writing a little book in the off season about how I did it. And to me, a lot of this is risk-reward management. And one of my fun things is turning nothing into something. And then right now I got a bit more something, but not much, but a little bit more. I can increase my stakes a little bit more. As the last 2 nights in fantasy hockey, you pick one game, have worked out better than I thought waking up. Normally, tonight included, games will be at like 10 o'clock, 10:30 Eastern time. So I'll wake up and see what the score is. And then I'll see, okay. 2 nights ago, I looked at my score. I'm like, oh my goodness. This doesn't look good. This looks bad. Then I looked at the box score. Oh, this looks horrible. I've lost everything. Meaning I lost 100% that night. Meaning every dollar that I bet I lost, I'm thinking. And then I see, I only lose about 20%, 25%. Oh, that was great. And that was the loss yesterday or 2 nights ago. That was this in here. I was like, wow, I only lost that. That felt really good because I thought it lost double digits. It only lost about 4 or 5. And then I wake up this morning and I look at the score and I'm thinking, okay, well, hopefully things will work out fine. And well, I did better than a 3x gain on the night. Now, one of the things I've been mentioning is I've been pretty unlucky in this as well, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I was lucky or unlucky last night, meaning I didn't win and I didn't finish second. Let's talk about the results as far as rank order, because this is like a poker tournament. You play like 1,000 people, 1,500 people, 2,000 people, however many people it is. First place pays the most and about 20% of the field pays. And this chart has the amount of times that my lineups, about 1,000, exactly that, 1,201 of them, have finished in the top 20%. So therefore, in a 1,000 player game, they must finish in the top 200, and so on and so forth. Basically, field of entries multiply 0.2. If it's at that place or better, it gets a yes. If not, it got a no. The blue line represents the amount of times the average person should finish, meaning you should finish 20 out of every 100 times. And that means a little over 200 for 1,201, or 200 at the 1,000 number, which we can see 1,000 would be right in here. But I've destroyed that number, obviously, as I am cashing at the upper end way more than I have at the average spot. So the average person is going to be in here. So positive players will be up here. Negative playing players will be down there. Negative playing players are those who are worse than average and, quite frankly, don't have the lineups in place that are correct to be expecting a positive return. And with rake, you almost have to finish above here anyway. Now, next up, I'm going to show how many times I've finished. FI, can't get the right word. Finished in the top 1% of the 2% rather of the field. Now, mathematics, this number is going to be cut in 10. So this is going to be between 20 and 25. So if I'm doing the exact same rate, this should be between 35 and 40. And it is not. It's over 60. But this is between 20 and 30 because it's the exact same math. It's just 10% or divided by 10. So out of 1,000 lineups, you should be finishing 20 times in the top 2% as an average player. I have really destroyed that number even more so, and that's where the top heavy payouts come into play. For I had a theory from day one, and I'm looking at a chart for what my theory would have been, was that I'm going to finish mainly near the top and near the bottom. And the payouts are near the top, so this works out pretty well. And therefore, my theory was something in the area of like this. And I'd hate that, wish that line didn't do it. Meaning, I expected to finish mainly in the top and the bottom third. So this is the third here. Let me just do a line. And I'll make it a smaller font size. So in here and in here. This is where I didn't expect to finish as often. I expected this to be higher in here and this to be higher in here, which kind of is. What we can notice is that this line's a little bit higher. I like how this is starting to go higher than this, and we can see starting to fade down into here. Again, this is the lower areas I shouldn't be finishing as often. Now, one thing to realize too is that a lot of people that are going to be finishing in here is multiple kinds of people. Myself, which is in the worst part, and those who are really, 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 really bad players. And I mean really bad. But the biggest one is this one in here, because each one of these represents a number. This is numbered 1 through 100. 1 represents that lineup finished in the top 1% of the field. This one represents that it didn't finish in the top 1%, but it did finish in the top 2. So in that range, so 2%, 3%, all the way to 100. And the 100 means that if it was a 1,000 player game, it wasn't so good, I finished in the bottom 10 if I finished in here of 1,000 people, which I've done over 5 times. But I've done 20 times in the top one. Now, one of the reasons why it's up here is because there are people that don't even put a lineup in. Meaning, there might be 1,400 games played. And 6 or 7 of them, 5 of them, people will pay for the game, but they'll never actually put a lineup in. Thus, they get 0 points. Now, there's times where they beat me because I could end in negative points. And I have before. I think. I can't guarantee that I have, but I can't even guarantee that. Let's just put it this way. Every rare few times I should be getting negative points. But I should be getting major monstrous finishes better than the average share because I found a system that works. So to me, I talk about the Leafs Islanders game or any games that I play, it seems like the luck factor of how extreme the luck is seems to be constant, which is kind of interesting. But for me here, I look at this as this is almost like just slowly grinding income or profits, because I'm not going to make any 10, 20, 30, 50x scores in a night. Definitely nothing even higher than that. Or on a fantasy football game, you could put $10 on the line and hope to win like thousands. And there's none of that. Volume for overall play is too low. And my extra volume in play also ensures that as well. All right then. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.